Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Cape Academy of Mathematics, Science, and Technology. My name is Caden, and with me today is Shafi, and we'll be taking you through today's program.
To get started, I want to give you a safety briefing. So, as you can see on the sides of the main wall, there are exits from the side, that side, and then right at the back, there are two bathrooms for male and female. So just check before you go in for the bathrooms.
Before we start, I first want to start off with a prayer, so can we please just all close our eyes? Our Father who art in heaven, thank you for bringing us all safely here today. Thank you that we are able to learn about future careers that we may be a part of. I pray that all the speakers here today can inspire the learners, all in your mighty name. Amen. Okay. To officially start today, I would first like to call up our principal, Mrs. Naidu, and following her, the GT director, Ms. Karen Dudley.
Good morning, everyone. To our honored guests, distinguished partners, teachers, and most importantly, our extraordinary learners. It is a privilege to welcome you to the Cape Academy of Mathematics, Science, and Technology for the Growth of Jobs, Drone Future Labs, and Tech Titan launch. Today is more than an event. It is a celebration of possibility, innovation, and the future leaders seated amongst us. At CAMST, our vision lights our path. We unlock potential and lead in innovation. We are committed to inspiring excellence in mathematics, science, and technology, empowering the learners to shape the future of South Africa and the world. Our mission reminds us of what is truly important: to grow, to lead, and to uplift. We develop confident, ethical, and compassionate young people who uplift their communities and proudly carry the spirit of our nation forward. Today's program reflects that purpose. As a true trailblazer in innovation and collaboration, CAMST stands proudly at the forefront of future-focused education. Our aviation program continues to set us apart, where learner, cadet, pilots achieve their private pilot license before they can even drive a car. This means that they can confidently take to the skies in a small sister aircraft with their private pilot license. This is not just a subject. It is a living example of what young people can accomplish when given the opportunity to dream fearlessly. Equally, our award-winning South African robotics champions at Strovo, who you meet later, embody the spirit of excellence, creativity, and perseverance that defines our school. The achievements are a powerful reminder that hard work and brilliance thrives when learners are empowered to think boldly and push boundaries. These remarkable milestones show why partnerships with visionary organizations are essential. Together, we unlock potential, expand horizons, and expose our learners to possibilities as vast as the sky itself. This morning, we are honored to acknowledge key partners and supporters in education. The WCD GET Director, Ms. Karen Dudley, for championing future education. DDAT Deputy Director of Digital Economy Unit, Ms. Angela, for her unwavering commitment to digital empowerment. The HOD of DDAT, Honorable Joanne Johnson, for driving opportunities that prepare learners for the evolving digital economy. The innovative partners from Drone Future Labs, Tech Titans, and the Sakikamba Foundation and Kishuga Drone Academy for making hands-on STEM experiences a reality. And our industry experts, the exhibitors outside, and the media partners, thank you for standing with us in shaping the next generation of innovators. Learners, today is designed especially for you. You will fly drones, code them, explore AI, meet experts shaping the world, and witness new careers unfolding right in front of you. some of the careers you explore today did not exist when we were learners. And one day, you may create careers the world has not yet even imagined. Remember this truth. The future belongs to the curious, the courageous, and the determined. So today, explore boldly, ask big questions, make mistakes and learn from them. I want you to dream loudly. Every challenge, every workshop, and every interaction today will bring you one step closer to the scientist, the engineer, the pilot, the technologist, the innovator, and the leader you are destined to become. You, seated here today, were hand-chosen, and we believe in your brilliance and your potential. And as we walk this walk with you, we are honored to be on this journey. So welcome to a powerful day of innovation, inspiration, and limitless possibilities. Let this adventure begin. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Ms. Naidu. And with that, I'd like to call up the DTAT Deputy Director, Ms. Angela. And following her, I'd like to call up the HOD, Honorable Joanne Johansson. Oh, sorry, Mr. Ibrahim Pek.
Good morning, and thank you very much, and apologies for the little confusion. Ms. Dudley is not doing too well, so I'm standing in for her, and it's really a privilege to stand here on this podium and look down on the future of this country. So I'm going to start off with saying good morning to our distinguished guests and our colleagues, industry partners, members of the media, teachers, parents, but most of all, to our learners. Today is all about you. On behalf of the Western Cape Education Department, it is my privilege to welcome you to the Growth for Jobs Drone Future Labs and Tech Titans game launch here at the Cape Academy for Math, Science and Technology. And ma'am, thank you very much. It is a space where we feel honored to stand. It is the space where we want to. Today is not an event. It's not another day. It's not another Saturday. But it's a powerful demonstration of what becomes possible when education, government, and industry work together with a shared vision. And our vision is to create a future for you, the learners of this country. And one of the most important projects that I'm also driving together with two of my colleagues at the Western Cape Education Department, Dr. Taladia and Mr. Don at the back, is the Growth for Jobs initiative. With that in mind, we're looking at your careers and the alternative careers. And when I had the opportunity this morning to just go for a brief walk on the school grounds, I realized with what my vision in the back of my mind is, Ms. Naidu and her staff has already achieved that. And that is to create an alternative future for you, to build a career, to build your future that are different. Today will be about exposing you, as the principal mentioned. So you're going to see what happens here, and you're going to take it with you to build it for you. Learners, when this morning I see my colleagues from the universities and institutions, and I look, and somebody spoke about drones. You know, when I was your age, I would have looked up in the sky and see there's a small airplane coming, and I would have gone fear-filled when it was coming right at me. And Dr. Hassan, you're always doing so rightfully when you lift up that drone and you show us from above and how things evolved. And that is you. Did you ever think 30, 40 years back when I was there about a drone operator? Did we think about that? We didn't think alternatively. When I was going into the FET, I was thinking, I can't become a doctor. Maybe. Okay, I'll become a teacher. The world has evolved, learners. The world has changed for you. And today, it's not only education department, but there are other departments in this province that want to show you what you can do. So take the opportunity, but also listen to, because there are going to be mention made about the importance of subjects. There's going to be a lot spoken about mathematics, and that's my subject. I was a mathematics, or I am a mathematics teacher in high schools. And I always drove my learners into grade 9 and say, your achievement at the end of grade 9 will build your FET future. And when you enter FET, I always told them, remember, mathematics is that subject where the content is repetitive. From grade 4, you'll do mathematics. The content are the same, the depth vary. It's one of those subjects, if you grasp the content, you'll have a complete outcome in grade 12. So when somebody mentioned about 70% in the aviation school where we just had the opportunity to be part of, I thought, wow, I was in a class 20 years ago. And that time I had the same vision of you've got to exit grade 9 with 80%, 70% in mathematics. So today is about you. Today is about taking the opportunities, but listen and steal with the ear, because that is going to build it. And you know what? Within a few years, we want to look at you. And I just had the opportunity to look at the learners sitting in an aviation center right there at the same school. And I realized, what opportunities do you have? So take it on. But today, it's about building of what you come. Listen to the subjects. Listen to the experts. Listen to those that can create the opportunity for you, because it's about building. And the best gift you can one day do is by walking past of us and said, remember, in 2026, I was in that hall, and you know, I'm a pilot. The other day as I walked to mosque on Friday, and I came past the magistrate, the high court. One of those guys came down with a gown at me and said, sir, can you remember me? And I got a shock. I thought, I've never been in a court, and what are you doing to me? And he said, I was in your grade 11 mathematics class. What better gift could I have had by saying he's an advocate in the High Court of South Africa? So take the opportunity, build and mold your future alternative to what was the opportunity. Remember, our country has evolved. Our country creates more opportunities for you. It is your right. It is your right to take it on. There's no limitations. Years back, there were limitations. Only certain people were allowed to get in certain careers. You can take the career that you want. And today, we are molding and creating that opportunity. Enjoy today, enjoy the rest of the year, and give us that opportunity to celebrate together with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Bek. So, let's get to business. Who of you guys are excited to be here today? You guys excited? Who of you play games here? Do you play games, Shafi?
I love games. I play games every single day. Every day. Every single day.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are excited, because you guys actually are here for a very special reason. The WCED have been working on a little project, okay? Who's going to talk to us about this project, Shafi?
Let's find out. Please welcome to the stage again the DDAT Deputy Director, Miss Angela. Please welcome her.
Before Miss Angela, we'd like to welcome the HOD, Honorable Joanne Johnston.
Clearly, we like to keep changing things. in terms of the speaking order, just to keep things exciting and the speaker on edge. So, how do I move this thing forward? Oh, okay. So this is the vision. So we talk about growth for jobs. I don't the strategy, and I'm not quite sure if anybody actually knows what it means. But it is the economic strategy of the province, the entire province. And it's really around having a vision of a provincial economy that achieves breakout economic growth. And it's important because when the economy is growing, businesses are growing. And when businesses are growing, they are creating jobs. And so ultimately, the purpose of growth for jobs is really around employment. But then we have to find the little pockets of how one actually grows. And that's where our priority focus areas comes in. So we have what are the opportunities, what are the industries of potential that's going to grow. We look at exporting, because that means we can sell more. We look at energy resilience, because that's really important for our environment, as well as having water security. Everybody remembers day zero of about 9 years ago. And then we look at tech and innovation, because research has shown us that all economies that have grown, the US, China, Europe, all of those countries that have grown as a result of technology and innovation. It's responsible for almost all the growth. This is how you use tech and innovation in financial services, in manufacturing, in even animation, film, etc., etc. And then, of course, infrastructure is important. And then the last thing is, how do we make sure that our citizens, our residents, are actually accessing the opportunities that the economy is creating? Do we have the right skills? Right? Because companies can be growing, but if they can't find the right people with the right skills, then obviously they can't grow because they can't find the people. So the last priority focus area in the corner is really around helping people access the pathways. And one of the ways, in terms of the pathways, is the career awareness. Now, the one thing I need to fess up is, one, I drove the development of the Growth for Jobs strategy, and I was the author of a fair chunk of the stuff that sat in, although we did it via collaborations. Quite a number of the interventions that are sitting in the strategy have come through from inputs from various stakeholders that we engaged with, including the Department of Education, and at the time, Harun, I can't remember, who was the DDG at the time. But I have a confession. So they briefly flashed up what my history and my academic achievements. But I used to be a teacher before, a long time ago. I used to teach at Hout Bay High School. And although I'm the head of economic development tourism, I was a teacher in English. So I was an English teacher, and guess what? I was a career guidance teacher as well. So there is an intervention that talks about career guidance and career support. I put that in there. Because you know what? At university, first years has a 50% dropout rate at university. In South African's university. And you know part of the reason why? Because kids choose a profession, then they do the first year and they realize, frick, this is not what I want. Right? And so that basically means is kids are not necessarily, the pupils, the learners are not necessarily understanding the choices that they make, which makes this kind of program that the Department of Education is driving also important. And that also makes the reason the collaboration between my department and the Department of Education and schools so important, because basically we understand what industry wants. Education is making sure that people are aware so that you as learners can make the right choices. Can we go to the next slide? I've so gone off my presentation already, but there you go. So the first thing is a career is not a single decision. It's a journey of decisions, right? You don't have to have your entire life figured out. But the choices you make today or you begin making starts to affect your choices and the possibilities, your options later on. So as the previous speaker was saying about math, for example, and how important it is if you, for example, choose to go for math lit, as an example, doors close. If you decide that you're going to keep with the STEM subjects, doors stay open. So that later on, when you start making other choices, those doors are open. So for example, if you decide that you're going to do math lit, immediately you can't be an artisan if that's what you want to do. You can't do engineering, and there's a whole whack of things that you can't do as a result of it. So the choices you make now affect the choices, your journey in the future. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you need to also choose curiosity over pressure. And I don't know. I don't know what your home environment is. I know Ibrahim was talking about being a doctor and a teacher, and our options are pretty limited at 40 years ago. And I must confess, even though that I was a career guidance teacher, I was probably a very crap one because I also didn't understand what the options were in terms of trying to encourage my kids to actually, consider this, consider that. And because people just don't know. And so what you need to do here is consider, be curious, explore before you decide. Right? You can't decide that you want to be a doctor, but you actually haven't bothered to try and look after people. You've just seen it on TV and you think, oh, that looks interesting. You need to explore. And I think this is what today is about, is giving you an opportunity to explore, to experience, to touch, to feel, and hopefully have some fun as well. So choose curiosity over pressure, irrespective of what your parents, your friends are saying you must do. And that also means that you need to know yourself, right? You can't decide you want to be an artist and you've never picked up a pencil to try and learn, for example. Because Steve Jobs said, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And so you have to explore what you love. Okay, moving on. The next, yeah. So character is a lot more than talent, will matter more than talent. And this is important in the workplace, right? Your qualifications may open doors, may get you the job, but your character is going to keep your job. It will keep and allow you to actually advance, right? So talent will get you the attention, but character actually builds trust, and it's trust that actually builds your career. Just the next slide. And this is basically what it means when you build character, particularly in the workplace. So it's making sure that you show up on time. Take responsibility for the work that you're supposed to do. Work well in teams, because the one thing companies keep complaining about, particularly for graduates out of university, is they may be academically proficient, right, or technically proficient, but they don't know how to work. They don't know how to communicate. And a lot of the work requires communication and working in teams. Keep your word. And that's important, right? So if you say you're going to do something, do it. Because that also means that you're trustworthy. And then show initiative. Don't just do the minimum. Take initiative. Be proactive. And this is also quite important, because when you build trust, is when, the issue is really around you can progress in the career. The one important fact that we discovered as we were doing the Growth for Jobs strategy, and then also previously some of the studies that we had investigated, is that most people get jobs because of their network. So a study from Czech, and Czech is the 4 universities in the Western Cape, did a study and they discovered that 40% of the graduates got a job because of knowing somebody. And I don't mean it like a little cabal where it's my friend's father owns a company and whatever. It's just if you actually make sure that you show initiative, you will progress, you will get another job, you get a job offer in another company because you have been demonstrated to show initiative and be trustworthy and to be good. So that's a kind of really important thing and it could also be social media. Social media has also shown that people that get jobs is because they know somebody in the company. Yeah, so it's important to actually remember that. So showing your character grows your initiative and your networks, and through your networks, you can progress. Next slide. Okay, so your first choice is not your final destination. I'm a case in point, but most people do not end up where they started from in terms of their career. So again, it's not like because we also don't know what evolves. And I think earlier Ibrahim was talking about how you basically, the jobs of today won't probably exist in the next 10, 15 years, not in the kind of form that they are anyway. In the next 10, 15 years, there will be more jobs that don't exist today. Like the majority of jobs in 10, 15 years don't exist today because of AI, because of technology. And so the important thing is that we are adaptable, we're flexible, and so we have to be future ready in terms of our skill sets. Moving on. Next slide. So what matters more is not choosing a title, not choosing a specific job, but it's actually building adaptability. So do you have the skill sets to be able to do that? Do you have problem-solving skills? So it's really around the competencies. And that could be, and usually a proxy is math and physics. Do you have communication skills? Do you have creativity? And do you have a strong work ethic? And whether you choose drones or any of the careers, these are the competencies you build that can be applicable to any job as it evolves and as new ones emerge. Next slide. So, I think the important bit here is the future does not belong to the smartest. It will belong to the most prepared, the most resilient, and the most determined. It's something to remember. You're going to have to stick with it. You're going to have to keep at it. You have to, the stickiness is the important thing. Next slide. And so then now what is the options? So in this case, you need to define success for yourself. Right? Not a title, is what are the options? You need to decide what is the most important thing for you. Is it wealth? Because that's obviously going to affect your choice. Is it the impact that you want to make to society or your community? Is it freedom where you don't want other people to be telling you what you must be doing all the time? So do you want freedom? Or is it stability? So those are the kind of priorities that starts to shape your career choice in going forward. Next slide. Okay, wasn't that one? No, go back. Back. Okay, there's a missing slide, which is supposed to say tech is everywhere. So obviously we're punting the tech thing at this particular point in time because it's important. But let me tell you why it's also important. So in one of the previous jobs that I did, we did investment promotion. I did investment promotion. And so recently, and that's really about trying to encourage jobs from overseas to come to South Africa, set up shop here so we can create jobs and grow the economy. But recently, a very prominent German automotive company was looking at setting up a tech hub in Cape Town. Okay, talking about one of the two top German brands. And they were looking at creating 5,000 tech jobs. And the job would have been that they would have used Cape Town as a base to service all of their cars internationally, because there's tech in every single car. Because it's like literally everywhere. And cars have become a lot more electronic over a period of time. So they wanted to set up something because they love the kinds of skill sets that we have in Cape Town. We're creative, we take the initiative, we come up with solutions, we're customer-centric, we kind of get it. They chose not to come here. You know why? Because they said we didn't have enough tech skills. Great quality, but not enough quantity. So then I went off and I went to go speak to the dean of the IT faculty in Stellenbosch to say, you need to get more tech skills. You need to train more people. Her response was, I can accommodate, I can double, I can even triple the number of students we take in. The problem is there's insufficient demand. Kids don't want to do IT. The good students that apply usually first apply to become a doctor, then an engineer, then a chartered accountant, and only if they can't get into those courses do they, okay, we'll do information technology. So it's not a career of choice, right? It's a career as a fallback solution because you couldn't get into the ones you really wanted to do. And we realized then that there was a problem. We realized that people actually are not aware about the careers in the tech industry. They're not and it's an amazing thing because you can be creative, you can work with your hands, you can be innovative, you can come up with amazing solutions, etc., etc. And so this initiative is really around how do we actually teach, well, just share and raise awareness around what tech is about. And there's amazing stuff we can do in the Western Cape. So one, do you know in space tech, right, there are a gazillion satellites that are now orbiting the Earth. Do you know that 35% of the satellites that orbit the Earth has some component of it that was manufactured here in the Western Cape? Did you know that? We export our space tech. So that's a major industry. The drone industry is also amazing because we currently are exporting. There are little pockets of places across the Western Cape where we manufacturing drones and we are exporting them. And I'm not talking necessarily about these little small drones. I'm talking about these major big drones. And not only that, if you look at our future, which is going to be Africa, and you can start basically lifting like a ton of, I don't know, goods and services, or goods really, it is perhaps a way for us to overcome our logistics challenges, the fact that we can't actually easily transport stuff into Africa. So that's a growth opportunity. Use it for surveillance, etc., etc. We have creative tech, right? Do you know that the Western Cape, or particularly Cape Town, is a UNESCO design capital of the world because of our creativity? So we have gaming, we have the film industry, we have all sorts of amazing things that we do. The Get Smarter, which is considered to be world-class, was bought for over R1 billion, developed here in Cape Town. It was bought by a New York exchange company. They were going to transfer all of that skill sets and the company to the US, and then they realized in Africa, the skill sets here in Cape Town is too good. So they bought the company, but they actually kept the workforce here, and basically servicing across universities, Harvard, Oxford, across the world using our technology. So we have got health tech as well. I mean, there's all sorts of ways where how technology is applicable in all sorts of industries. So but I think the important point is make sure that you are future ready, and technology as a career choice, irrespective of what discipline you choose, is making sure that you are future ready, irrespective of what AI is going to bring. Okay? So yeah, I suppose it's really about exploring, deciding, and then hopefully thriving. Thank you. So, Angela's coming up.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, happy Valentine's Day. Okay. I'm so impressed for you showing up today, not sleeping in, coming to explore what's happening here today. And I just want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them how awesome they are to have pitched up and showed themselves here today to participate. Maybe you know each other, maybe you don't. Okay, stand up and fist pump, high five, hug if you want to. Oh my gosh. That's a tough crowd. Okay? Okay. This is one closer step to everything Joe was speaking around character. Okay, so well done. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today and share my little baby that I've been working on for many months to assist all of you and other learners out there. So can we move to the next slide? That's fine. Okay. So I want you to just think about and maybe shout out, what tech have you used this week at school or at home? Think about when you wake up in the morning. The phone. Who uses an electric toothbrush? What wakes you up in the morning? Your phone. Who has a smartwatch? Who uses Wi-Fi? Do you use appliances in the morning? The kettle, the toaster, the microwave? Okay. During school, what tech are we using at school? Your phone. Laptops, possibly, your phone. Okay. And then when you get home, what do? Young man? What do we do when we get home? And then? Gaming. And on your phone. Okay. So as Joe said, tech is basically around us from the minute we wake up to the minute we sleep. Okay, and the great thing is that there's something behind that tech. There's somebody, there's people, there's machines, there's creativity, there's innovation. Those things don't just turn up. All right, and that's where you guys can get into those exciting spaces. Okay, next slide. Right, so Joe spoke about this. So when people, and the research I've done with learners, there's been a lot of misconceptions around what tech jobs are. People have said, oh, it's a techie job, you fix computers, you sit behind a desk. No, there is so much more to it. So it's also important to know that tech is not just for the tech sector, okay, or specialized, ICT companies. It's in everything. It's here in this image, it shows you. It's in agriculture. It's in medicine, as Joe said. Here's a lady who's a game designer, a gaming designer. Maybe that's what you would like to look into. Okay. There's somebody here working with data, doing data analytics. Maybe you like numbers, you like to see trends, you like to be able to explain why it is that way. Car manufacturing. Yes, so a lot of robots are assembling that car. But what happens if one of those robots glitches? And that happens, it's a machine. Somebody has to be watching that production line. Somebody has to have the skill to set that robot back on track. And here people are assembling things and making things. So it really is across all industries. So what we've done is we've created, I just want to, if you can just move on, I just want to see what the next slide, or if there was anything else. Nothing else? No other? Okay. All right. So, as we've said, is that if you build the digital skills and your tech skills early, and you explore and you discover and you decide which sort of branch you want to go into, there are emerging technologies all the time. So just as you got the latest iPhone, next year they bring out a new version. Okay, so it's updating and upgrading all the time. And then Joe spoke about the economic growth, and that's why what we found in our research is people don't know much about what's on offer. And through the partnership with, our collaboration with the career clubs and the education department, we decided to create a game that's going to showcase 30 possible tech careers. It's not the only tech careers around, but 30 cool tech careers that you may know about, you may not know about, and we're really hoping that you will be inspired and motivated when you hear more about what those roles offer and what those people do and what aligns to your strengths, your talents, your passions. And then you start building those skills and building that pathway towards entering that career. And then your journey begins. So there we go. So we have created something called Tech Titans. And as we said, we want you to know that in that there are a lot of attributes or elements of the job that could appeal to different people. So maybe it is the salary you're looking for. Maybe, as Joe said, you're looking for flexible work opportunities. Maybe you're looking for something with a lot of creativity. Maybe you're looking for something where you can potentially work for a global company from here and get paid in pounds, dollars. And then obviously through the game, it generates a bit of curiosity, discussion amongst you in your career clubs with your career representatives. Maybe you decide you want to bring somebody in to speak around a data scientist to come and speak about a day in their life, what it's like to be in that role. So you can have speakers in, you can, maybe look at more videos. We're building content on our website, the QR, and the website address is on the cards, and we are building some extra content because you can't put everything on a little card. So you want to know more about what this job does day to day, and how can I grow in this job, and can I move from that path to that path? And obviously, if there are some videos that we put that on, and you can see and hear a little bit more about those roles. All right, so we're going to Okay, I'm going to take you through how to play. So what I need is, I need 11 volunteers that are going to play. So come forward, 11 volunteers. And bring your, well, just if you can get a chair. Well, I think that's a lot more than 11. I mean, I need 3 at this table. 3, and 2. Okay, we got more. I got more games. You guys want to play? But I just want 3 in a team. Okay. I'm just going to come and get some more packs. Just 3 in a team. So I love it. Come. Don't go back. Joe's going to join one group, so be nice. Where's Joe? We got 3 here, 2 here. Joe, do you want to just grab a chair? We got 3 and 3. 3. We need 3 in a team, so 1 pack with 3 people. Whoopsie. Eager beaver. Okay, I'm just going to stand up here for the live stream so that the people that are linking in can also hear the instructions. All right, so open your pack. Where's our timekeeper? How much time do we have? So, Joe, you can sit on either side of this table, I guess. Yes, how many of you? 3, 2, 3. Oh, here's a spare seat. Thank you, Joe. 1, 2, 3. We need 1 more here. 1 more. 3. You need 2. Oh, you the 1 more, so we can take 3 more here. 3. Just remember 1 pack for 3. 3 people, 1 pack. Okay. 3 people, 1 pack. If you open the pack, you'll see that there are 3 cards at the back. And basically, I'm going to explain what's on there. So it tells you what is the purpose of the game. And I think we've already, between Joe and myself, hopefully addressed that. And then how to play. I'm going to tell you how to play. What I want to explain to you is that card that says attribute. Okay, so I'm looking at the little white card that says attribute scores. Attribute scores, have you got that one? All right. So these are the criteria that's on each card. So for each of the 30 tech roles, they have this criteria with different scores. So let me explain. The one is annual salary, so that's obviously a rand value. The other one is market demand, so it's 1 to 10. So if it's low demand in the market, it's 1. If it's high demand, it's 10. So 1 is low, 10 is high. Artistry and creativity, so that's how much creativity and innovation there is in that role. Also, out of 100. So 1 is low creativity, closer to 100, high creativity. All right, then the other is technical skills. How difficult is it? 1 out of 100, or out of 100. So again, 1, not a lot of technical skill. Closer to 100, lots of technical skill. Ease of entry. how difficult is it to get into this role? Is there a lot of studying, a lot of time, getting yourself prepared? And that is out of 10. So if it's a 1, it's very easy to get in. It's quick and easy. If it's a 10, there's a lot more studying and qualifying and certification that you needed. Work-life balance. Do we know what work-life balance is? Maybe you've heard your parents speaking about it. Okay. So everybody talks about having work-life balance. So you don't want your job to take over your life. You do want to have some time out to do the fun, cool stuff. So out of 10, is it low work-life balance or high work-life balance? Then future growth. So is there an opportunity to grow within this role and into the future? Right. Again, out of 10, so low future growth would be like 1, and closer to 10, 8, 9, 10 would be high future growth. So maybe a few of those appeal to you. So when you're thinking about a career, maybe all of those appeal to you, but maybe just some of those appeal to you. So each card has a number for each of these criteria. Does that make sense? All right. So let's just look at a card, one card, before we split up the deck. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I've got web designer. Okay, so the name, the role is on the top, and then it tells you a little bit on the side of what the role is, little short explanation. And then there are those criteria I've just explained. The salary, the market demand, the artistry, and you can see they each have a figure, a score next to it. Remember, some were 1 to 10, some were 1 to 100, and salary is a rand amount. So 1 is low, and closer to 10 or 100 is good, is higher, okay. And then a little fun fact, something interesting about the role. Right, so what I want you to do now is take those 3 white cards out. So take the 3 white cards out. Shuffle your deck. Remember, it's 3 and 3, eh? Why are you guys not here? You guys need to shuffle your pack. Don't mix it. Shuffle, and then each of you should get 10 cards. Face them down. It's like a card game, so each of you must get 10 cards. Okay. All right. Take up your cards in your hands. Don't show the other people. All right. And just decide in your group who's going to begin. It doesn't really matter, but who's going to begin. We're going to maybe play for 10 minutes or so. All right. So decide in your group who's going to begin. All right. Who's going to begin? Huh? I don't know if they have it on here. You mean a slide? Yes, yeah. So okay. So each of you have 10 cards. Don't show your partners in your group. All right. Who's going to start? You look at your top card. You tell your group what the role is. So for me, I'm a web designer. You can pick any of those elements, attributes, categories at the bottom. You, as a person starting, and you say, whatever, my salary is this, or my market demand is this. And then the next person in your group looks at their top card and says, I'm a, whatever your role is, the same category that the first person shouted out. You look at your same category on your card and shout out or share the number. Does that make sense? So we want to see on everybody's top card who has the highest or the best number for the category that's been selected by the starter. You can also share with each other what that role is if you want to. Whoever has the highest number for that category wins the other's cards. And you put them at the bottom of your pack. That make sense? So you just pick one category, okay? You okay? Okay. All right, so the winner of that round takes the other's cards and puts them at the back of their pack. And then the winner again puts his card at the back, takes the next card in his deck or her deck, and same thing, call out the name. Choose any category on the card, call out the number. Your group partners will look at their card and call out the number for the same category. And the winner takes all. If you have the same number, it goes to the middle. Okay, goes to the middle, and the next round, who wins takes the middle. The aim of the game is to have the most cards. Whoever has the most cards wins. If you get a score that's the same, put those in the middle. Next winner takes that as well. All right, I'm going to just let you play, but if you're confused or need help. Sorry? Right, so I'm just going to give you a bit of time to play. It seems like you've caught on to the gameplay. If you guys want to come up and watch, sorry, it's all I can offer. Come up and watch the teams. You're welcome. Have some observers. Hey? You done? Awesome. Well, maybe swap out. Okay, some groups are done, so they can swap out with those who haven't played yet. And hopefully you guys understood all the rules of the game. So don't you want to... Guys, if you've played... So if you've played around and you have a winner, won't you give your other learners a chance? Do you want to play in the chairs? There's no table. You don't want to? Do you want to play just sitting on the chairs? I've got a pack. Are you sure? I've got other packs. Do you want to play on the chairs? No? You just want to watch, observe. Okay, everybody, I'm loving the energy levels. That's fantastic. I know initially you don't know the game and the rules, but once you get into it, it's a lot easier. Okay, everyone, I have to finish off my set here. But thank you for those of you that played and observed. Hello. Boop, 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 boop. Woo, no, I do love the excitement. Okay, time, everyone. Time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Just leave the cards on the table. I'm so sorry to cut you short. I hope you had fun. Can just leave them on the table, that's fine. I'll sort them out. Okay. Let's settle. Thank you. All right, so the good news is that you will get copies of the game in your career club at school, so you're welcome to go there and play at any point. The games will obviously stay there and you can repeatedly use it, have discussions. I hope, well, let's see from a show of hands of those that did play. Were there any wow moments where you were like, okay, this sounds cool? Okay, a few. Okay, that's good. That's good. And maybe you'll go home later and you'll go onto your phone and do a little research about that role. Okay, so thank you everybody for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day. And please keep your options open and really consider those careers in the tech space. You can have a very long career path in those spaces. Okay. All right, thanks everybody. I'm done.
Thank you so much, Miss Angela. Was it a fun game, guys? Did it give you interest into some tech career fields? Okay. So this next part of the day is going to be a bit more interactive. So have you ever heard something buzzing in the sky? No, it's not a bee. It's not a bird. Is it a plane, maybe? It could be a plane. Say it again. A drone. Okay. Well, in this next section, we are going to have someone that has worked on some of the top films that you guys have probably watched.
Has anyone here watched Game of Thrones? Who has watched Game of Thrones by show of hands? And who has watched One Piece, live action on Netflix? Now the next speaker has worked on those movies. Please welcome Mr. Omar Dick.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the welcome. It was the introduction was quite a nice one. You touched on some of the points I wanted to speak about, but it's fine. You can steal that. Angela stole the Valentine's Day thing that I was going to say, but thank you, Angela, for that. Okay. Just also, one of my other pilots who's sitting here is taking a video of us now. If any of you ever watched any of youngster CPT's music videos, this is the pilot that flies it. Ihsan, put your hand up. Show them who you are. Okay. So later on, you'll get to interact with some of our guys, and you can chat about that. But to the distinguished guests, industry pioneers, innovators, and future leaders, I'd like to thank you all for being here today and giving me the opportunity to showcase some of my experience in what I still consider an industry that's in its infancy. We don't know how big drones can be yet. I've been working with drones in aviation for full time for the last 15 years, and some of the projects that I've done are projects that I would never have thought I could do when I was your age. So you guys are at a point in your life now where you're going to have to decide what it is you want to do with your life. And subject choices is very important. For me, I found drones much later in my life. I did quite a few other things. I've crossed paths with Joanne Johnson before, working for government. I've done music, I've done film, quite a lot of things, but I've settled in working with drones, and I feel I found my place, and I found something that makes me really happy. Because when I was your age, if I thought of, I never knew what I'd do in terms of drones. I knew I liked playing with radio control cars and boats and model aircraft, and it was fun. And I never imagined that one day doing that same fun would become my job. So I'm fortunate in that regard. So some of the kinds of projects that I could introduce you to, projects that I've worked on in the last 10 years have been things like livestock counts, so counting endangered rhinos on farms in South Africa. This is aside from the filmmaking, which is probably the most fun part of it, of flying drones. But it's really interesting to do the livestock anti-poaching missions we've done with the endangered African rhino. I've done mapping and 3D models of all the small islands off South African coast. Some other exciting jobs, as I was introduced, they said some of the films I've done. I've also worked on movies like Aladdin, The Young Pope. I did Bloodshot. My team has done Maze Runner as well. Tomb Raider, Game of Thrones, as I said. In total, our company and the pilots that we have done probably over 100 feature films and over 500 commercials in the last 10 years. But I first want to just give you a background to my company. So the company is called Phoenix Drone Academy, and we started in 2016. We started initially. It was a very tough time because drones was very new, and people were not really as keen to see it as a job. I'd go to them and I'd say, look, we see drones as something to do for the future. We see there's jobs that can be created. And they'd look at us and say, you're playing with your toys. Go play with your toys. And then as time went on, I think there's been a big shift in industry to see how drones can be leveraged as a tool for what you're doing existingly. So, for example, if you become an engineer, mechanical engineer, we're not saying become a drone pilot as your main profession. You can use your pilot's license to complement what you already do. So, for example, we've had some government speakers here. Government speakers, for government, they could use drones for inventory checks, for surveillance. There's quite a lot of things you can do with drones. I'll touch on everything as we go. But as I said, Phoenix Drone Academy was started in 2017. And the intention was to provide training to students who never had a chance. So our big thing was transformation in the aviation industry. So we tried to give previously disadvantaged people like myself and like yourself an opportunity to get into the industry, not only getting your license, but also opening up doors to show you what can be done. So we'd run programs where we'd send students who finished training into a job, even if it was just a shadowing job, and you can go and you can prove yourself there and maybe get offered a job. So that's how we started, and like I say, we've been around for almost 15 years now. Can I have the next slide, please? So the courses that we offer is, firstly, the big one, which everybody wants to do, is the RPC, which is a South African Civil Aviation Authority accredited pilot's license. So don't think of it as a drone license. It is a pilot's license with your training, your practical training being done on a drone. So your rating is for drones, but it is a pilot's license. A pilot's license on its own only teaches you about flying legally, operating safely, and also planning your flights, that sort of thing. But in addition to that, we always recommend people to look at some of our other courses, like, for example, the aerial mapping and survey course. So aerial mapping and survey, we do a lot of work for NGI, which is the National Geospatial Institute. They're based in Mowbray, and they do all the maps that we see. So aviation maps, aeronautical maps, topographical maps. We'll often work closely with them to go out and fly these surveys so they can have centimeter, actually millimeter accuracy on all of those maps. We do precision agriculture, which is more in the farming side of things. So farmers will come to us and say, they'll tell us what the crop yield is and how much they're spending on pesticides and how long it takes. And they'll give us an amount, this is how much we spend. We'll look at it using precision agriculture to try and minimize the cost and basically do the same thing more efficiently and in a quicker time. So that's another course, precision agriculture. Structural inspection, which is quite a popular one, because most of the offshore guys who were previously doing rope access, they come now and they learn to do their pilot's license with us, and then they complement that with a structural inspection course, and they go back and they go do inspections on oil rigs, on towers, that sort of thing. We've got a technical drone building course. So when I spoke about subjects that you need to do at school, I think if you did maths and science, this technical building course would really be something you'd be interested in. We build drones from scratch, where we design the frames, we have the carbon cut out, and then we fit everything. And this is a course you can come to us and you can do the course with us. It takes less than 2 weeks to do. You'll come out with a certificate, and the drone that you build, you get to keep yourself, so you get to start flying almost immediately. And then we also do surveillance and disaster management courses. So the surveillance and disaster management courses are starting to grow a lot now, especially after the disaster management conference that was held last year at the G20 conference. So there was quite a big push towards going into disaster management. So those are some of the courses that we offer in addition to the pilot's licensing that we do. So our company is split up into, it's a bit tricky to explain, it's split up into the training company, and then we've got a wing which does servicing, and the servicing would be going out to fly on a foam set or going out to fly on a farm, which is separate from training. And then the third arm to our company would be hardware sales. So we do hardware sales as well. The introduction and the prerequisite for doing any of these courses would be your pilot's license, which is the RPC course. So this is just a list of subjects that you need to do when you do the course. This is the subjects we do. So human factors, air law, principles of flight, navigation and flight planning, meteorology. These 6 subjects are subjects that you write exams on. So we teach you the course, and you write an exam on that. Operational procedures is just a course that we teach you as well, but you don't get tested on it by the South African Civil Aviation Authority, although we think that it's very important for you to know this. So we add that into our RPC course, which is a little different to other aviation training organizations. The radio telephony course is also a very important course, and that is a restricted radio telephony license, so that when you fly your drone, you can speak to air traffic control and you can speak to anybody else using the airspace, whether it's an airplane or a helicopter or another drone user, perhaps even a skydiver, so you know where you can fly safely and you make everybody aware that you're there. So this course, radio telephony, the only prerequisite for that course is you need to have a language proficiency of level 4 or higher in English, because no matter where you are in the world, everybody speaks English on the radio. That is according to ICAO standards, and every air user speaks English. And then we've got just a general RPAS. So if you don't know what RPAS stands for, that is a remotely piloted aircraft system. So a drone, in other words. So we've got a general course on that, and then we've got field ops preparation. So field ops preparation is more just flight planning and getting into performing your first mission. Next slide. Okay, so I spoke a bit about the partnership with Kishugu. So I said we've got 3 different, the Armstar company, Phoenix is the training organization, Kishugu does all CAA-related training, and we are based at the Cape Academy, right on this premises. But we've also got a footprint in Nelspruit, Johannesburg, Springbok, and then the West Coast district as well. So we do training in those locations, and we've got certified flying fields in all of those areas. One of our biggest projects that we do with Kishugu is the Working on Fire project. So I don't know if you must have seen whenever there's a fire in Cape Town, you'll see those yellow helicopters flying around. So we train all of the pilots for working on fire. Specifically the drone pilots, although on our license, the ATO, which is the Aircraft Training Organization, Aviation Training Organization, sorry, we also have the ability to train helicopter pilots and airplane pilots. So the bombers and the helicopter pilots are trained through our ATO as well. And that's through the partnership with Kishugu. Here's some picture of some innovation that we did with CPUT, and that was just building some drones that could fly long distances to do anti-poaching missions along the coast, the west coast and east coast for fishing. Next slide, please. Okay, as I said, Kishugu, we operate under the Aviation Training Organization of Kishugu. We're CAA approved, and we currently at the moment upskilling more firefighters for the Working on Fire program, and that is a program that runs every year. So every year we get to train some firefighters, especially new firefighters that's coming into it that want to do more than just be a fireman. They want to go out and do fire spotting and fire monitoring. So we go out and we check areas that could be a potential burn risk, and they'll go out and they'll do an inspection, and we'll go with the drone and put some pesticides there, or kill the invasive species that's there, or alien vegetation, so that fires don't happen. And we do that mostly along Table Mountain National Park, so we'll go there. The fire base for Working on Fire is in Newlands, so if anybody wants to go and visit there, let us know. We can just see what the helicopter looks like, and if you're lucky, we can take you up into the air. I can't promise that though. Okay, just some key sectors for the application of drones. I've touched on a few of the things, and that is more like the film, and that is more exciting kind of work. But a lot of the overlooked sectors, which I also find very exciting, is the agriculture. Agriculture sector is a big one. It's something that we've seen grow a lot in the last 2 years. So when I spoke about the different parts of our company, I said there's a component where we do drone sales. The agriculture sector, farmers have been probably our biggest customers in the last 2 years. They are buying quite a lot of drones, almost on a monthly basis. And when they get that drone, they need to do their license as well. So then we sort of get a two-pronged approach to every industry. Real estate is a big industry to get into, and probably the lowest barrier to entry would be going into the real estate industry, because you could start going to work for a real estate company in your area that you live, just taking some aerial shots of houses that they put on their website, and you charge them for it. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to have fun, but you need to make money as well. And if I look at the real estate side of things, as an example, you could charge anywhere from 1,500 rand to 6,000 rand an hour for coming out with your drone. Because when that house is sold, you get paid commission on it. And it's a small percentage when they tell it to you, but when the house is sold, it usually turns out to be about 6,000 rand for an hour's worth of work. And you can do 10 houses in a month. That for me seems like a good investment if you were to look for a job. Mining industry is also growing quite fast. We've seen increased sales as well as training in the mining industry. Energy grid network, that is for things like solar panel inspections or wind turbine inspections. That is the energy grid that we talk about. Infrastructure I spoke about already, that's structural inspection, shipping. Shipping is very similar to the oil and gas industry, where we do inspections on oil rigs and also ships. Postage is something that's starting to grow now, but with the regulatory compliance in South Africa, it's still quite difficult to transport anything long distances with a drone. Filming, which is a big one, but that is, if you have to look at the pyramid, I'd say filming would be at the top of it. That's where you earn the most money, but there's the least amount of jobs. So you need to be very good to get into that industry, and you need quite a lot of experience as well. So I'd say if filming was something you wanted to get into, start with real estate. Start getting your hours up. Start getting your flying skills up, because all of that goes onto your show reel, and when you pitch for a job in the film industry, you can show them how much you've done. They can see your experience. They can see your precision work that you do. And yeah, for me, still the most exciting industry, because every day your office is a different place. So you go out today, you work at a different set, you meet new people, you fly new jobs. But the job you're doing is exactly the same every day. So it becomes second nature to you to fly on these kind of sets. Private security, public safety, this is more around surveillance again. National defense systems, I didn't speak much about that, but we have done missions where we went along the border of South Africa just to make sure that there's no encroachment from other countries and people crossing the borders. Water reservoir inspections, again, structural inspection, that's the border control, same with national defense, that goes together. Sea rescue operations also goes with surveillance. Emergency medical services, this is more humanitarian work, and then firefighting. So these are the key sectors that I'd suggest you look at and consider when thinking about drones. So drones is not just a toy. It's not just, you're not just going to be flying for fun anymore. Look at the sectors that you can go into, and then the impact that it has in various industries, the macroeconomic advantages, as you can see here, and with the expansion of the industry, there's a higher level of efficiency due to automation, higher level of customer satisfaction, and this is again when we were talking about the agri sector, for example, customer satisfaction for those farmers now, where they're saving a lot more money. Instead of taking a plane up and just dropping tons of pesticide over a farm, they now go and we show them the exact spots that needs that, and we go out with the drone, and that's why it's called precision agriculture. So you go and you only spray that plant if needed. So there's a cost saving for a range of businesses. Let's move on. Positive effect on the GDP, diffusion of technological advancement, more emphasis on appropriate skills development. So that is a big thing that we look for in what we do. More accurate data collection, and you'd see when we're working with engineers, this is a big thing. They need accurate data, because there's two types of shots you can get with the drone. They either tell you come out and take a pretty picture, or they say gather usable data. That's two very different things. So you need to decide where you want to go into. And then the mapping of inaccessible locations. So for example, as I spoke about earlier, when we did the mapping of the islands, those were inaccessible areas, so we did Marion Island as well, we did Tristan da Cunha, we did Alaska. You can't go and map that walking with a meter wheel and listening to clicks. So doing it with a drone was just a lot more effective. So for me, the most exciting aspect of this boom in the industry and promise for sustainable job creation is directly tackling unemployment challenges. Technology creates more jobs than it destroys, and that's something that we need to let industry know, that there's more jobs created using it. And I think that the drone industry is a perfect example of how technology improves industry. The demand for certified drone pilots and technicians are skyrocketing. And when I say technicians, I'm talking about if I've got a drone, if every one of us had a drone and we had a problem with the drone, we had a prop that was broken, or your camera wasn't working, you need to take it somewhere. If you are that technician that's servicing everybody, that is a different avenue for you to explore as well in terms of job creation. So in the last 10 years, we've trained probably close to 800 pilots, and the absorption rate of those pilots is typically upwards of 80%. I can't give you exact numbers in terms of how many people are still working, but like I say, we've trained quite a lot of pilots over the last 10 years, I'd say. Key things that I think in terms of job creation, like I said, the first place to start would be the certified remote pilot's license. Drone technicians and engineers that are specialists that diagnose problems and maintaining and calibrating these high commercial drones. Data analysts, which is basically, data analyst could be a film editor. So a pilot will go out and fly a job, they'll deliver the data to me, and I'll analyze it if I was the editor. That's what I do. So those are the kinds of things we do. So looking ahead, I think to truly lead, we must move a lot faster. We have made big strides in the drone industry. I don't know if anybody's told you, but South Africa was the first country to have drone regulations in place, and that was enforced in 2015. So we were the first country in the world to do that. So we need to continue on that curve and try and bring the drone industry more accessible to our people. I mean, I'm just like you. I come from a township, furthest township in the southwest, Ocean View. That's where I'm from. So I never knew that there'd be opportunities like this. And I think if you were to come and spend some time with our guys this afternoon and just see what it is that we do, it would be something that I think you'd be very interested in. The future for South Africa in the drone industry is not just about having flying machines. It's about empowerment, innovation, and efficiency. By investing in training, embracing in smart regulations, and fostering a culture of innovation, we can make South Africa the drone capital of Africa. Let us take this occasion and make ourselves be at the forefront of this 4IR revolution, I'd say. So, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, we are around. For the next part of this presentation, I'm just going to call on my colleague Mustafa. He will just take you through a basic flight planning and programming mission and show you what it entails, basically. Mustafa?
Good morning, learners, teachers, educators. Thank you for having me. So today we're not going to demonstrate how to fly a drone, but we're going to demonstrate how drones are used as real tools in the industry. We just recently spoke about surveying. So today we're going to focus about just a pre-mission flight of what happens before we actually fly a drone. So question to anybody, does anybody know what that building is? Yes. Well done. So that is the Cape Academy building. So today we're going to demonstrate a software which we call Drone Deploy. Drone Deploy is a flight planning and aerial mapping platform. Instead of manually piloting and capturing images of all of the entire building, we do it automatically. Basically meaning we're doing it on autopilot, right? So what happens is that in our software, it connects to the drone, right? And then we can set our altitude of the aircraft. So let's assume that this is our aircraft, right? We can set this thing to take off at 100 meters. We can tell this thing how fast it needs to fly and also where it needs to stop. So what I have done is that we've drawn out a grid, right? Everybody can see the grid, and that surrounds our whole our whole area of interest. So what it will do on the green lines, that's the flight path. That's the exact flight path. You will see where it will start and it will end on the other side, right? So the images are not taken randomly, but they are taken according to coordinates generated by GPS and then processed later to create measurable outputs. So Drone Deploy is also just not the only software available. There are many other, but why we're using it for this specific demonstration is because it has mission planning. So we do not just take off and fly around. We define the work area and instruct the drone exactly where to go. And once the mission starts, the drone flies the path on its own. So although you have a pilot license, you don't want to be flying. You actually just, they work smarter, not harder. So that is exactly what we do. So the drone will go. Can we please move to the next slide? The goal of the flight is not the video. The goal is to collect data. So, for example, if the request was that, can we please have an orthophoto of Cape Academy, we won't necessarily have to fly it manually, because manually means that you might just miss an area, right? But if you pre-plan it, you will capture each image with a two-second interval. So correct, at every 2 seconds, an image will be taken. And once that all comes together, it creates a full model of Cape Academy. So imagine that you guys are going to be building a new school hall, for example. You need to know where to place it. You need to know how big is your area. So now you're using the drone as a tool to capture the information, and you're generating this model, which you then can flip around, and you can actually design on there, taking your information to the next phase. Question. The camera is taking the picture, but the camera is connected to the drone, right? So you're pre-programming the drone and the camera together. So if we can go to to answer your question, so remember we just set the altitude now to 100 meters. We set how fast it's going to fly, but now we're busy with the camera settings. And the front overlaps mean there's a 75% overlap and a side of 70%. That means on every 2 seconds that we took an image, right? If we took an image here, on the front there will be a 75%, and at the back, on the side will be a 70%. On your next 2 second image, you'll be capturing again 75. So you'll be seeing what's happening in front and at the back, and on the side and the left, on your right and left. So at all times you will have enough information, and that's how we generate a good quality model. You will see we will be flying at 15 meters per second. We will be starting at our first waypoint, which will be that side. And if we can just go to the video, if possible. So what we did is that, see there, first sample is that I first corrected our flight paths. We corrected our area of interest. And now we're checking all our flight altitudes. We set it at 100. We checked all our enhanced settings. We will then move on to the advanced settings, checking our side overlaps, making sure everything is correct. we can also set the drone. So the platform just does not work on one drone. It has various types of drones. So there you can see we have a list of aircraft which the DJI brings out, and then you can see it will tell you exactly how long it will take, how much hectares it is, and how much images. So once your job is done, you can actually, once once you're done with the job, you can see, did I get actually 60 images? So this is what we've done. This is just a simulation. It's the pre-starting mission. So we planned our mission, and now we're running a test simulation to see, is our drone actually flying that correct path? So drone deploy is used as a tool. Our drone is just a tool. It's the way you use it and what you do with it. So exactly, it will fly the flight path at the exact altitude that you set out, and it will be taking images. As you can see, the count will be going up. You will see it will take you 3 minutes and 58 seconds, and now we're at 36 seconds already. So that's exactly how you would monitor your mission. So this is just a glimpse of it. I invite every student to come around to us, come ask some questions. You can see the full live demonstration of how this thing is actually being completed. And if you have any questions, please come and ask. I do believe drones are the future. I myself started out in matric and went into the drone industry. I'm 10 years in the industry. It's a very good industry. It's very fun. Your office is never the same. And you're always learning. So thank you for the opportunity. I welcome all learners to please come and check for us. And there is lots to learn, and definitely the sky is not the limit. Thank you so much.
Was that very informative for you guys? Do you have an interest in drones now? Okay. So I'm sure you've seen the stores outside. I saw people wearing, you saw people wearing these. You're wondering what this is. So I'm going to ask that our aviation group and our robotics group come up, and they're going to give you a presentation of what they do. You guys are going to be able to ask some questions after their presentation. So you guys come up.
Hello? Oh, it's on, it's on. Okay. Welcome, future aviators. Good morning, everyone. My name is Diego Manessa, and this is my second year as a cadet in aviation. So look around you in this room. You're not just looking at your fellow classmates, you're looking at a generation of captains, engineers, and pioneers. Back in 2012, the aviation program started here with a tiny spark. Just two passionate learners about aviation with a dream to fly. Today that dream has grown into a full-blown engine of 24 students ready for takeoff. Your journey to the cockpit. So what do we exactly do here? We don't just talk about planes and make it boring. We prepare you to command them. Every one of you is on the path to learning your private pilot license, otherwise known as a PPL. But before you can command the sky, you need to get your learner's permit, which is your student pilot license, your SPL. Think of it as your golden ticket that says, I'm ready to learn the language of the clouds. It's basically your 2 years of ground schooling. We offer that here at Cape Academy. I'm currently in my second year, my last year. So next year in matric, I'll be able to fly and get my PPL. So grade 10 and 11 is where you start mastering your ground school, and you'll dive into fascinating subjects that turn the sky from a mystery into a playground. And in grade 12, as I mentioned, This is the ultimate payoff. You leave the classroom behind and soar the skies for your practical flight training. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Zara Damanzi. I'm also a second year aviation cadet. I'll be talking about the 7 pillars of flight, your aviation superpowers. In grade 10 and 11, you aren't just studying for an exam. You're learning how to master the elements. Here's a look at what you'll be doing. First, meteorology. You won't just look at the clouds anymore. You'll read them. You'll understand thermals, winds, and thunderstorms. You'll know when the sky is calm and when it's about to throw a tantrum. Second, navigation. Imagine your GPS fails over a forest. Do you panic? No. You pull out your flight computer, calculate the heading, adjust for winds, and track rivers and mountains on a paper chart. You won't just follow a map, you'll understand it. Then comes principles of flight, the physics behind the magic. How does a heavy metal machine lift off the ground? You'll learn how lift, weight, thrust, and drag work together in perfect balance to keep you flying. In aircraft general knowledge, you'll become a doctor for aeroplanes. You understand how engines breathe, how electrical systems work, and how flaps help land you smoothly and safely. Next is air law. The sky has rules, just like the road. You will learn the right of way, communication, and discipline. This is what turns a student into a professional pilot. Then there's human performance, because the most important system in the aircraft is you. You learn how altitude affects your body, how pressure affects your thinking, and how you stay sharp when it matters most. And finally, flight planning and performance. Before the wheels leave the ground, you do the math. Fuel, weight, distance, you plan the mission, and then you execute it perfectly. And here's the best part. This isn't just theory. In the simulator, you'll feel what stall feels like. You'll apply what you learned about lift. You'll experience the 4 forces in action. This isn't just a subject choice. It's confidence, it's discipline, and it's an adventure. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Qasim Said, and I'm a second year cadet. Today I'll be talking about from camps to the clouds. We don't just graduate students, we launch careers. Look at the chief training pilot at Blue Chip Aviation. He once sat exactly where you are sitting today. Same classroom, same dreams, same doubts. Today he trains the next generation of pilots. Or take Armin. He didn't stop at PPL. He pushed further and is now a professional drone pilot instructor, proving that aviation doesn't just take you into the sky. It takes you into robotics, remote flight, and the future of technology. That's what camps does. We don't produce ordinary students. We produce aviators. Our high-tech playground. When you aren't in the air, you'll be in the stream lab. This isn't your average computer lab. This is where theory meets reality. We have 3 state-of-the-art flight simulators where you can practice circuits, emergency procedures, and advanced maneuvers safely. You'll make mistakes here and there, so don't make them in the sky. And the crown jewel, a full-size Piper Tomahawk right here on the campus. Not a picture, not a diagram, a real aircraft. You'll sit in it, study it, and understand its systems, and begin thinking like a pilot before you earn your wings. The future, building a legend. Now let's talk about where we are going. We are not just dreaming about the future of aviation, we are building it. We are building a supermarine Spitfire. The Spitfire is more than just an aircraft. It is one of the most legendary aircraft fighter jets designed by R.J. Mitchell. It became a symbol of innovation, precision engineering, and courage during World War II. With its iconic elliptical wings and unmatched agility, it dominated the skies and changed aviation's history forever. And now we are recreating that legacy. The project is a 3-year engineering course, not a plastic model, not a display piece,
a real, fully functional aircraft built to aviation standards. We are working through a global partnership with the University of Illinois Urban Campaign and leaders in the aviation industry. That means international collaboration, mentorship from experts, and exposure to real aerospace engineering practices. You won't just watch this aircraft being built. You will participate. You will learn about aerodynamics, structural design, avionic systems, aircraft maintenance, and precision engineering. You understand what it takes to turn metal into something that can conquer the sky. And here's the most powerful part. Once completed, this Spitfire will be registered at a flight school. That means the aircraft you helped build will actually fly. Imagine standing on the runway, watching it take off, knowing your hands, your effort, your discipline are part of that machine. That is legacy. New Horizons, building this aircraft opens doors you may not even know exist yet. Aeronautical engineering, avionics, aircraft maintenance engineering, aerospace research. You'll be networking with industry leaders before you even finish school. You won't just leave camps with knowledge. You'll leave with experience, with confidence. You'll leave with proof that you don't just study aviation, you build it. The sky isn't the limit anymore. It's your office. So fasten your seatbelts, check your instruments, advance the throttle, because at the Cape Academy of Mathematics, Science and Technology, we don't wait for opportunities to fly over us. We build them and we take off. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Iman. I'm the captain of Astrovo, FTC Team 17955. So, Astrovo is a robotics team, right? So pay attention to what I'm going to say at the end. I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and whoever answers right, we're going to give out some awards, right? So, what is FIRST? FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. FIRST is a global initiative. It's an NPO designed or created to allow students to do real-world robotics and apply what they learn to life, right? There are different leagues to FIRST. You get the first Lego League where they build robots using Legos, First Tech Challenge, which is what we do, and FRC, First Robotics Challenge, where they build robots using industrial, right? So Astrovo does a few things. One of those things is a big project called First Like a Girl, where we aim to inspire and encourage girls to do robotics, because there are so little girls in robotics. I have experience in this because at one point I was the only girl in my robotics team out of 9 boys, right? So this is done so that they're able to see that there are role models that they can follow, that there are people to inspire them, that they can do first, right? And confidence can make anything happen. About Astrovo. So Astrovo is a globally award-winning team. We are the South African champions for the 2023-2024 season. And this is currently our 6th season doing robotics. We are one of the oldest teams in the Western Cape, right? Astrovo has been to Chicago, Florida, and Houston, Texas, right? Where the World Festival was held. There were over 600 FTC teams competing, so we took on the best of the best. Right, so we do a lot of outreach, and we are so honored to have the resources to build 2 robots. What you see here is a starter bot, and this is built from a starter kit. This is a robot we built specifically for demonstrations to schools and outreach. But along with this, we built our own competition robot. So this robot is a lot more advanced, both mechanically and engineering-wise, right? So, how do we design this robot? We don't just design a robot. We have a plan. We have a process. We go through what's called the engineering design process, right? We ideate, we identify the problem, we come up with ways how we're going to solve this problem, right? And this season, this robot needs to be able to shoot, from a certain distance into a goal, right? Unfortunately, I don't have the more advanced robot here, but Jeremiah, who is our driver and engineer, and Caitlin, who is our human player and engineer, will show you. That is just one of the things the robot is designed to do. But we don't just build robots. A robot follows a set of ideals, right? We have core values. Those values are discovery, innovation, impact, inclusion, teamwork, and fun. And all of this falls under what is called gracious professionalism and co-opetition. We aim to help other teams by mentoring them, helping them build a robot, giving them things that they might not have access to on their own. Therefore demonstrating co-competition and gracious professionalism. Okay. So, game operations. How does it work? So the game takes place over 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's just one match, right? So the season starts in September and goes all the way until April, right? That is the official robotics season. And during that season, you'll do the regionals, nationals, and the World Festival, which is in Houston. And during each match, the 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the first 20 seconds is known as autonomous mode, where the robot does things pre-programmed without any human interference. After that, we have the tele-op period, also known as the driver control period, where the robot is controlled by the drivers, as what Jeremiah was just doing. As you can see, that is our autonomous, right? I'm sorry, you guys can't see it that well. And at the end, we have endgame, where the robot goes to a certain spot on the playing field and lifts itself up off the ground, which is what we call an ascent. So, team operations. Each member in our team has roles and responsibilities. And those responsibilities are endless, right? We have the captain, which is me. We have our head of innovation and skills development, and they ensure that our team members' skills are up to par and ensure that everyone knows what is happening, what is going well. We have our safety captain, and they're in charge of safety, always wearing safety glasses, always making sure no one's working with sharp objects for our protection. We have our lead engineer, and they're in charge of building the robot. We have our lead coder, they're in charge of coding the robot. We have our lead designer. So you guys know what CAD is, right? So they do the CAD of the robot. Before we start building, we always create a CAD, and all of our designs are based almost precisely on that CADed robot. And obviously you get this, those are just the leadership roles, and you get our designers, we get our coders, we get our engineers, and obviously they work under the heads. So, as I said, I'm so glad to be here today. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Is that okay? Is that okay? You guys look very sleepy. Am I boring? Am I boring you? Am I boring you? Okay. I hope not. I can talk endlessly about robotics. Okay. What's my name? Iman. I think that's too easy. Okay. What does FIRST stand for? She knows. Guys, you have an imposter. She did robotics. You have an imposter among you. Must I ask him? Okay. Correct. Wow. Okay. Well done. That's good. Our team members need to know what FIRST stands for. A lot of them forget it. No. They forget it a lot. So, who can tell me what's our core values? Yes. I feel like I only said it once, so I think that's good. I think that's very good. Okay. I mentioned something, and I talked about giving to another team. Giving out to teams and helping teams. What is that? Yes. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Anything else? Anyone else have an idea? No. Okay. What do we use? How do we build our robot? Yes. Can't hear you?
Legos.
unfortunately. So what I mentioned was there are different levels or leagues to first. FLL is where they build robots using Legos. We don't do that, but good try. I mentioned a certain process. Does anyone know what it's called? Yes.
Before you build it, don't you use CAD or CAB? I didn't.
CAD.
CAD.
CAD. So I was actually looking for the design thinking process. But yes, we do use CAD. We always CAD before we start building. That's important. Did you go already? Okay, no one else. Okay. No? How long is a match? At the back. Let me see at the back. Shafi, you want to choose someone there at the back? Any, mini, money, mo.
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yes, okay. Well done. Okay, I have one more left. What? Oh, okay, I have 2 more left. Okay. What project do we do that inspires girls to do robotics, to do first? Does no one remember? Inspires them up. Let's say, Shanae, put your hand down. Shanae, do you guys think we should give Shanae a chance? She's done robotics. She does robotics. Okay. Shanae, what's the answer? Okay, well done. Let me see. What other questions can I ask you? Okay. So, I have one more question, and then I'm going to talk about something else. Okay? The first 30 seconds of the game, 20, what's it called? Yes, he put his hand up first. Yeah? No. Who else? I'm waiting for hands. Yes? No. Not tele-op. Yes. Autonomous. Did you say autonomous? Yes. Well done. Okay. So what we just handed out is part of a collaboration we're doing with an international team, a team from New York. This is a campaign we're doing for breast cancer awareness, right? There are lots of myths about breast cancer. There's a lot of ideologies behind it as well. And our team, we do a lot of outreach, we do a lot of campaigns and international meetings. We aim to break barriers and inspire people, right? And this is just one part of how we do it. Please check out our Instagram for more information about our breast cancer awareness campaign. Astrovo.ftc 17955. Please come visit our stall outside. We do have a stall outside. Thank you for having us. We're so happy to be here. Thank you.
Before our Strovo and Aviation cadets go off, are there any questions that you guys would like to ask them? Okay, so you know everything.
So, about that store thingy outside, do you need money?
Are you
Yes.
No, to come to our stall.
Yes.
No, you just come look around. We can charge you if you'd like to give us money. We won't say no. We always need money. We always need money.
It's true.
Anyone else? Guys, don't ask anything. We don't bite unless it's Monday. Anything else? No? Yes, Shafi?
I actually wanted to ask the aviation team what inspired them into going into aviation.
Do you want to answer this one?
I want to ask what their inspiration was.
Okay, so what inspired me to go into aviation was my passion. It was quite, when I was like 4, my mom took me to the airport to watch the planes at Spur. So I think that was the spark of it. And then further on, my dad and my grandpa, they used to work at the airport as a shuttle driver. And that's how I used to like speak to pilots that would come out, speak to flight attendants, and then I fell in love with aviation. And then I found out that Cape Academy had a program which was partnered with Saki Kamva to pursue aviation, and that's where I am now. It's my 2nd year, and yeah, it's been great, you know. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Oh God. I wanted to know if you guys like only study aviation and robotics. Like, is there other subjects like normal subjects like maths, physics, life science?
Okay, so aviation is kind of a subject, yes. Robotics isn't. Robotics is a thing on its own, very intensive, very high intensive. The school does offer other subjects, which, sorry, I thought you were from our school. Your uniform looks very similar. So, pure maths, you have to do pure maths. Everyone at the school does pure maths. Life science, accounting, geography, physics, CAT, and IT. Those are the only options for subjects. We do extra, there are extramurals of sorts you can do, I guess. You can do Mandarin as a 3rd language. We have a STEM club, we have a drone club, stuff like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is that all? Final questions? Going once, going twice? Give me anything, guys. No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Did that make you even more excited? No? I saw someone shake their head no. Okay. Before we go to lunch, Mr. Don just wants to give you guys a word. So let's welcome him.
Thank you. Die mense is al honger, nee. Yes. So I'm going to keep it short. I firstly want to say thank you to all the teachers that were responsible to get you guys here. The principals that said yes, as well as your parents that gave you permission to be here today. Then I also want to say thank you to all the stakeholders, DDET, the DDET team. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the catering. And thank you for the collaboration. And the game, it was absolutely amazing. Thank you, Angela and Elsbeth. Then also to all the WCD officials that pitched up on Valentine's Day. I'm telling you, these people are in trouble. I am included. So, but I want to say thank you for the colleagues. Gavin, thank you for being here. From our entrepreneurship, does he travel all around the world? She's a celebrity. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And for you guys, this is opportunity. So this is especially designed for you. So there's going to be a drone workshop after this. So you're going to enjoy your lunch. After this, it's going to be practical, no more sitting. And then you're going to actually learn to fly the drone, operate the drone. There will be a competition So you must listen carefully. There will be a competition. There will opportunities to win prizes as well. So whatever you learn during that first bit, right at the end, there will be some challenges that you need to solve with all the skills we have learned during that session. So we want you guys to enjoy. So now I'm going to give to the MC. The MC just going to tell you the way forward. And then the exhibitors are here. So please go around and see. If there's something you like from UWC, CPUT, ask them questions. Ask questions. So thank you from my side.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so we are running 1 hour earlier than we are supposed to be. So lunch is going to be from 11:30 to 12:30. So you guys can just make your way out this door over here. Okay, wait, guys, wait. Calm down. I know you're hungry, but calm down. You guys can just make your way out this door. A teacher will hand a lunch back to you. You guys can talk to each other, take pictures, visit the booths, obviously. You guys can go now, okay? You guys can go. You guys can go now.